Hey, boys and girls, happy Monday. Today we are going to be working with hundredths. Last week, Friday, we worked with tenths related to decimals and fractions. And today we're going to do pretty much the same thing, but we're going to talk with hundreds. Hundredths. Let's take a look. Okay. It says in the 2008 Summer Olympic Games, the winning team, oh my goodness, the winning time in the men's 100-meter butterfly race was only 1/100th second faster than the second place time. What decimal represents this fraction of a second? So we're going to circle the numbers that we need to use. So do we need to know that it was in 2008? No, that was just like extra number. Just don't let that throw you off. But okay, so it's the 100-meter butterfly race, and it was only 1/100th of a second faster than the second time. So we are going to, what decimal represents this fraction of a second? So we're going to change this to a decimal, this fraction to a decimal. Now, one way we could do it, like we talked Friday, was use a model and a place value chart. So here is our model and our decimal with the hundredths chart. The place value chart. So 1/100th of the model. So here we have a model and it's cut up into 100 pieces. And you can think about it because it's like, it looks like 100, like our blocks, right? And it's 100 pieces, right? Because it's 10 by 10 or 10 times 10 to get our 100. So we're going to shade one piece out of the 100. So that's literally only one little tiny piece out of the 100 pieces. And how we would write this would be 1/100th. Okay, let's look at the thing. Think the model is divided into 100 equal parts, and each part represents 1/100th. Okay, so that's one piece out of the 100, and we would read it as 1/100th. Now, for a decimal, take a look. They did it for us. So do we have any tens? Did we color in any a whole 10 here? No. So we don't have any tenths. We don't have an entire thing colored, so there's no holes. So we just have 1/100th, one in the 100th spot. And the way we'd write this would be, we had no whole numbers, decimal point. There was no tenths shaded, not 10 pieces here shaded, and only 1/100th, one piece out of the entire 100th. Let's take a look at another way we could do this. So another way we could do this is with a number line. I tried to start drawing out a number line on my whiteboard, but it was I couldn't get all these little pieces in. So we'll just do it from the book. Okay, so on a number line, you can look here and it's 0/100ths all the way to 100/100ths or one whole. And you have it broken down. All these little pieces go up to 10. So that's like 1/100th, 2/100th, 3/100th, 4/100th, 5/100th, 6/100th, 7/100th, 8/100th, 9/100th, 10/100th, or it would look like this as a decimal. So how fast that race that the winner beat the other person by was only 1/100th of a second. So that was not that much time between had passed. So let's finish out our number line here. So we have 20/100ths. So it's written like this, 20/100ths. And we have 30/100ths because our number ends in the 100th spot. Okay, that would be like if I colored 20/100ths would look like if I colored this hundredths chart, I would color 20 of these. Okay, and then we had 30/100ths and we have 40/100ths and 50/100ths, and you get the idea. I'm not going to take up much of the time for the video to continue out writing these, but you get the idea. 30/100ths, 40/100ths, then it'd be 50/100ths, 60/100ths, 70/100ths, 80/100ths, 90/100ths, and 100/100ths or one whole. Okay, so it says here, they want it as a decimal. 1/100th, like that, names the amount of 100th. And the reason being, I think the most important thing to look at would really be the model. That one piece is shaded out of the entire 100 pieces. So the winning time was only 100th second faster. Feel bad for the second guy. All right, let's take a look at another one. Okay, let's take a look at another problem. It says that Alicia won her 400-meter race, freestyle race, by 4 and 25/100 seconds. How can we write this mixed number as a decimal? So it's 4 and 25/100. So for a model, and I'm going to actually do this on the board. Let's take a look. So for our model, so you can see it. Took me some time to draw it. You can pause it and draw it along with me if you'd like, or just follow along. But so she did her race in 4 and 25/100. So 4 holes means that we would shade in 4 holes of these. I'm just going to quickly do it. 1 hole, and I can't really see that. Hold on. That's like 1 hole. 2 holes. It's very tough to see, but this I'm shading that completely in. Okay, that's 1 hole, 2 holes, 3 holes, 4 holes. And then how many am I going to shade from this last one? 25/100. 25 pieces out of the 100 that I cut it into. So I'm going to do that now. So I could sit and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But we know to do it quicker, you could think, okay, this is a row of 10. So that's 10. Here's another 10 or 20, right? 10, 20, and then 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our model looks like we shaded in 1 hole, 2 holes, 3 holes, 4 holes. So that's where we get our 4 from. And then we shaded 25 out of the 100 pieces for right here. Now, if I was going to write it for a decimal, do we have any ones, any holes? Yes, this time we do. We have 4 holes, or 4 ones place, right? It's in the ones place. And then our decimal point. Do we have tenths? We kind of did shade how many really tens. We have 10, 20. So we have 2 really tens, right? And then 5 more hundredths. So it's 25/100. So this is really like a 10, and then another 10, it would be our 20, or 2 tens, right? And then 5 more for the 25/100. So that would be how you would write that. Okay. Let's look at, you could do it the same way on a number line. Now, in this case, we are talking, we already are at the whole number 4. So that's like 4 and 0/100, 4 and 100th, 4 and 200th, 300th, 400ths, and so on. And then here we'd get to 4 and 20/100ths, and then we'd have 21, 22, 23, 24, 25/100ths, because it's cut up into 100 little pieces. So you would write this on a number line for your decimals. It would be like 4 and 10/100ths, 4 and 20/100ths, and so on. I'm not going to write them all out, but yeah, that would be how it would be. So you would name this as a decimal 4 and notice how we never wanted to say end with the other whole numbers in the beginning of the school year when you would say like 232. The reason you wouldn't say the end there when you were talking, just regular whole numbers is why, because the end is really when you say it when you have the decimal point. So 4 and then it was 25/100ths, and our number ends in the hundredths spot. That's why. So she won her race by 4 whole minutes and 25/100ths of another second. Or I'm sorry, 4 whole seconds, not 4 whole minutes. Let's try a few more. Okay, let's try 2 more, and you could draw it out if you want with me. So, I drew out 100 pieces, 100th block, basically, right? As if we have like our base 10 blocks. So we have 100 because I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 by 10, 10 times 10 is 100. Okay. So how I could write this. So this would be, let's see, I could sit here and count them all out, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and so on. But we know that one row is 10 already, right? So we could just do 10. Another row completely colored is 20. And then 21, 22, 23, 24. So written as a fraction, this would be 24 hundredths, right? 24 pieces colored out of 100. Now, as a decimal, we have nothing completely covered. So we have 0 ones, our decimal point, okay? And then 24, okay? Because it ends in the hundredth spot. And the reason, look here, yeah, if you have the 2 is in the 10th spot. And if you notice, we have 1, 2 groups of 10. So that's kind of why it all works out together. One group of 10, right? Because this whole thing, one row is 10 and another row is 10. That's what I was saying, like 10, 20, right? And then 4 more. So 2 10s, if I cut this into tenths instead, and then 4 more pieces. So 24 hundredths, okay? Let's try one more. This time I'll give you the fraction. So I'm going to do it like this. It's going to be 91 hundredths. So how I would shade this is, well, I know that this is a 10, right? One row is 10, and then another row is 20. So I'm going to just color them in quickly. That's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and one more. So how it would look as a decimal, I didn't completely shade the whole thing in, so there are no ones, there's no holes, there's no ones, and then 91. Okay, because you could think there are really like 9 10s, right? I shaded in 9 whole rows of 10 and then one more. Okay, hope this helps. Make sure you watch with a notebook, pause when you need, and I will see you guys later.